one of the important polymer is the natural rubber. It is naturally occurring actually, and you know that it is actually a polymer, or you can say the monomer of natural rubber is isoprene. The common name is isoprene, but if we talk about its IUPAC name, it is 2-methyl 1,3-butadiene. That is, we have this kind, you know that but means 4 carbon, diene means 2 bonds, 1 in 3rd position, and here is the methyl group, and we have this kind of structure, right. So we have this thing. So it is actually formed of this monomer isoprene. So as you can see that double bond is present at 1 carbon and at 3rd carbon, and if we look for the configuration, you will see that all the in this, the carbon atom carrying the double bond, they have cis kind of configuration. You know that what is cis? Cis is something where the similar groups are at same sides and dissimilar on the same group on the same sides. Right. So the double bonds which are involved in it, they have the cis kind of configuration, and as a result, you know that it gives it, so it makes it little bit coil type, and it gives an ability to stretch to a certain limit, and when the stretch is released, it returns back to its original shape. So that is the reason the natural rubber is something stretchable. But there is a drawback as well. This natural rubber is actually very soft and sticky. It can be best used at temperature 10 degree to 50 degrees Celsius, right. But if the temperature exceeds this temperature, if the temperature exceeds this 50 degrees Celsius, it becomes too soft to be used somewhere, and at low temperature, if we see, it becomes brittle. It becomes brittle. So, and one more, if we talk about the property, it has the high water adsorption capacity also. It has the high water adsorption capacity also, and it get easily attacked also. It doesn't have a lot of resistance. So in order to improve the properties of the natural rubber, what we do, we follow a process of vulcanization. We follow a process of vulcanization. That means we are making the rubber a semi-synthetic rubber, a natural rubber a semi-synthetic rubber. We are doing certain kind of modification, and as a result, we will improve the properties. It will become somehow hard, more resistant, and likewise. And you know that how we do this vulcanization? What we do is, we take the natural rubber and we heat it with 3 to 4% of sulfur, and we also take zinc oxide. Now, when we heat them together, what happens? This zinc oxide actually accelerates the process. It increases the rate of the reaction. And this sulfur, what happens with this sulfur? This gets introduced in the natural rubber, forming the SS linkage, and as a result, the cross links developed, which you can say limit the motion, which actually limit the stretch, and it somehow becomes more modified. And when you heat it, you have to heat it at temperature 110 degrees Celsius for 20 to 30 minutes. So if somebody asks you about the vulcanization process, you should be quick with an answer that it means in order to improve the properties of the natural rubber, how? By introducing a SS sulfur-sulfur linkage in between the monomers, and as a result, what happens? It becomes somehow hard, and moreover, how you do it? You take natural rubber, you take 3 to 4% sulfur, you take zinc oxide, you heat it at 110 degrees Celsius for 20 to 30 minutes. You use for the zinc oxide is to accelerate the rate, or you can say increase the rate, and it gets into the natural rubber, forming a cross linkage, and it just limit the motion of the layers, and somehow it becomes means now it can be function at high temperature also, and even at low temperature it doesn't become brittle. So that means now the properties of the natural rubber is being modified by the process called vulcanization. So this is what is the natural rubber and the vulcanization process.